Hey everyone, Joel Hansen. Welcome to another episode of Life Lessons with Joel, where you ask questions and I provide answers, or in other words, life lessons. So we get this question from our good friend, Australia. And by the way, I'm in the bathroom of a hotel in Memphis, Tennessee right now. Pretty cool. All right, so this is definitely an interesting question, and the title of today's email is it too soon for a relationship? So let's go through the story, and this is going to be a good one. You guys are going to be a little intrigued by this. All right, so our friend Australia recently left an 8-year toxic relationship. She recently started also talking to a former colleague, and they both have feelings for each other. However, she's questioning if it's too soon to jump into a relationship. So Australia and her coworker worked together for about 4.5 years. During that time, they were both in respective relationships. The coworker, ended his at the beginning of last year. So I guess that'd be the start of 2019, and she just ended hers at the start of this year. We'll say 2020. So he's been single now, I guess, I would, if again, I'm assuming I'm reading that right, for about a year and a half, almost a year and 3/4, and her about half a year, we'll say. They'd always been very close to each other and a lot closer than other colleagues. In fact, they used to call each other husband and wife at work and kind of joke about it. That being said, if they ever had any issues with their partners, they would talk about it. So they were definitely there for each other and had a very good, strong kind of friendship or relationship. And she kind of, although she has felt feelings from him in the past, kind of passed it off as a workplace crush. So this is where it gets interesting. Around February of this year, our good friend Australia made the painful decision to leave her partner. As she mentioned, it was not a positive relationship, and this was a very long-standing relationship. Where this gets complex is that even though she decided in February to break up with her partner, she never voiced it to him, and they ended up having to basically have lockdown together. They were stuck in lockdown. So at that point, that made for a very uncomfortable few months, I can only imagine, to which she finally told him in June and moved out in July. So I'm sure that was a long time coming. I'm glad you got out of there if it was not a positive situation. And now that kind of brings her to the present day. So in the present day, she has feelings for her coworker, and her coworker admitted that he also has feelings for her. In fact, that actually happened in March. So our friend Australia would still be living with her old boyfriend, but decided she was going to break up with her boyfriend, and she and this old coworker have been talking about exchanging feelings since March and have talked every day. So they definitely kind of have grown that relationship, I guess, under a new context. That being said, they didn't actually start hanging out until about last month. So that would be like July, August. So July was pretty busy. Now, things are going great. They often spend time at his house. She cooks for him. It's a nice partner review. And it's both been really good company. They both mentioned that they don't want to jump into a relationship straight away, and that has worked for the time being, but she's starting to realize that she has feelings for him, like stronger feelings, more than she wants to admit, and had previously been discussed. He's been very upfront that he doesn't think he has it in him to be in a relationship just yet, but he seems to be mindful of not wanting to hurt our friend Australia. And it sounds like he has said that a relationship isn't something that he would potentially want for them in the future, or something along those lines. So it sounds like he's basically said to her he would be open to a relationship potentially in the future, but he's just not ready for something right now. And that was, so that was basically that. And she's seeing that as a positive. And this conversation was in July. So now that's been about 2 to 3 months. Right now, basically Australia's trying to figure out where do you go from here. She adores her coworker. He's an amazing human being. But she's questioned how fast she's kind of fell into these feelings. And of course, she's naturally scared of rejection, which is totally normal. But she wants to tell him how she really feels. And is it too soon? and she's worried, then what are her thoughts on this? And as a PS, she does mention that I guess the coworker's ex is still in his life as a friend. So the coworker and his old girlfriend are currently seeing each other in some capacity just as friends. It says they're not seeing each other. The other coworker is the coworker's old girlfriend is dating other men. So it's like, it doesn't seem like they're together, but they are in each other's life. She feels a little uncomfortable about this. However, that being said, her old boyfriend, Australia's old boyfriend, is actually still in her life because they share some animals and stuff. So I'll start off with that last point. If they can actually be in a relationship, your old coworker and his girlfriend as friends, that's great. I think that's something you should support. It sounds like you both have had these really long-standing relationships, and I think that's something you're just going to have to kind of get used to should you go forward with it. And that would stand whether they are actually just friends or a little bit more than friends. Either way, it sounds like they're going to be in each other's lives for a while. So I think that's not something to necessarily discourage. Again, they have a lot of history together. All right, now basically, Miss Australia, to get to your question, basically, how do you tell them how you really feel, and is it too soon? So again, if I have followed, appropriately, your coworker, has been single, or at least out of his old relationship, for a year and a half. My computer just died. A year and a half. And he's saying he's not ready for a relationship. Now, I understand you've only been out of your relationship for, let's say 6 months. Even, actually physically out of it less by the sounds of it. So for you, I can understand that. But as you said, you guys have shared a lot of time together. You spend a lot of time together. It sounds like you would be ready to kind of take this relationship a little bit further. So for your coworker, I think the first thing I would do is tell him, say, coworker, look him in the eye and say, I know back in July you said, we expressed we had feelings for each other, but you weren't ready for a relationship. Where are you now? And this is me giving him the benefit of the doubt. And if he says, I'm still not ready, I think he's just kind of exploring the field in all reality. To me, that's kind of what it sounds like. It sounds like you are a friend, you're a long-standing friend, you're a comfortable individual, you're both in a time of kind of need, which is great. And it sounds like you guys have a great relationship. And if that is what you guys are willing to continue, the friendship, the relationship as it is, no matter what it entails, whether it's intimate, not intimate, personal, non-personal, really, whatever it entails now, it sounds like you're both very comfortable with it. That being said, if you want more than that, you have to see if he's comfortable basically, making it more serious. Because right now, I think under those circumstances, it might, to me, sounds like he might just kind of be trying not to hurt you. He's really enjoying what you have now. You probably are both benefiting from the situation, friendship, etc. But he's not interested in going any further, in my opinion, if after almost 2 years of him being single, and I'm assuming he's probably had done a few dates, in the meantime. You didn't mention if either of you were seeing other people in the meantime, but I'm going to assume maybe not. But yeah, honestly, sit him down, and I do think you got to ask him. Say, coworker, do you want more of a relationship with me? Are you ready for more of a relationship with me? And if the answer is no, I think he's just, you both are just in a comfortable situation, or at least he's in a comfortable situation, which he's probably very happy with. And that to me would probably say he doesn't want to take it much further. Again, that's just my opinion. But I, as a man, would probably say that is a very likely situation. So, again, my first thought is he probably isn't going to want to go any further anytime soon. But that being said, I would invite you to look at him and say, coworker, back in a couple months ago, we both said we have feelings for each other, but we're just not ready to commit quite yet. Say, that has changed for me. I'm ready to commit to you. Coworker, will you commit to me? And if he says yes, then congratulations. You guys are in a new committed relationship. I think it is built on a solid foundation of years of friendship, etc. Now, if he says, and again, you do the same thing, coworker, I'm ready to commit to you. Are you ready to commit to me? And he says, well, I mean, not yet, but maybe one day. Or he goes, I'm not sure yet. Or he goes, no. Then I think that's probably where you guys are. And that's probably as far as you've gotten and probably will get. There's nothing wrong with, continuing a relationship the way it is now, should you be into it and open to it. But again, to me, that would kind of tell me that your partner is, again, he likes the relationship as it is. It sounds like you both benefit from it. Friendship, cooking, whatever more your relationship entails. But after a year and a half or almost 2 years, I think if he was ready to commit and he felt you were potentially the one, he would do it. Now, if you both had just gotten out of your relationship at the beginning of the year 6 months ago, I could maybe understand being a little weary, to which maybe, you'd be able to unearth the situation by him seeing a few other women or you seeing a few other men. And it doesn't have to be serious. It just could just be, a date, like a one-off date, just to be like, does it take your mind away from it or take your mind closer to it? Because if this is the only individual you've been seeing, and this is the only individual that you've really had like a real good, close friendship, grounded, whatever with, especially through your hard times over the last couple months, and now being as a great support system, we have a natural tendency as human beings to kind of cling on and get really into it. It's like sweets. If you went a really long time, you're used to having sweet candies. You're used to having candies every single day. That was your old relationship, candy, candy, candy. But then it got sour, and then you only had sour tastes in your mouth, and you didn't have these sweet tastes. Once you finally got a sweet taste again from this other individual, which is your coworker, you'd be like, oh my God, sweetness, yes, give me more, more, more. And we get really, really, really in tuned, and we get really, really overly focused, and maybe a little, we invest a lot of our emotion into it. We put all our rods in the one fire, to which to some people can be a bit of a turnoff, or if it's the wrong fire, where the other individual is not interested in you, or just they don't want what you want, that can kind of be a little disappointing. But that being said, sometimes when you taste a few other candies around the neighborhood, don't take that in a weird way. You realize, oh, well, this one individual is not the only one that has some candy for me. I can get them from another person that has candy. It's like trick-or-treating. If you only thought one house had candy, you would be like so drawn to that house. You're like, that's the house. I have to go there. I need that house. But if you realize that all the houses on the neighborhood on the street have candy, you're like, well, if I miss that one house, it's not the end of the world, so I'll go to the next one. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, again, to summarize, look at your coworker, say, coworker, the last couple months have been great. I've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed it as well, I can tell. Last time we talked, we both had feelings for each other. You weren't ready for a relationship. I wasn't either. I am now. Coworker, I will commit to you. Will you commit to me? If the answer is yes, please go live a happy life. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Sounds like you have a really good foundation. If the answer is anything but yes, again, I would take that as a sign that it might not progress any further, or at least not right now, and I would go start trick-or-treating at some of the other houses. Again, not to sound weird, but there is more fish in the sea, and after you both, or you or somebody, you go trick-or-treating at a few other houses. Okay, that just sounds too weird. After you go, meet some other people, again, even if it's just a coffee date, strictly a coffee date, you might realize, again, either, you know what, that person is for me, or you know what, that person's not for me. There's better options out there. Anyway, I hope that helped. I hope you enjoyed my little rant. Hopefully it wasn't too discombobulated. It's about midnight here, and like I said, I'm in a hotel bathroom, on a chair though, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, till then, everybody, hope you enjoyed. Good luck, Australia. Much love to our friend down there, and I hope you and your coworker have a great life, especially you, and till next time, much love.